Hi, I'm Gorham. Welcome to the shop. Today, we're gonna solve an oil problem. More specifically, oil leaking problem. Well, not leaking, escaping. Positively being pushed out of the crankcase, might one say. So, we're gonna fix that today.
I see the oil that's leaking down off the back of the valve cover. It's not from the gasket. It looks like it's further up on the thing. So there's oil on top of the valve cover going right to the fill cap. Wonder if our crankcase pressure is too high and it's spewing out.
So what are we doing, Mr. Confusing Man in your garage? Well, we're chasing down an oil leak. The oil runs across the top of the valve cover, down the back of the valve cover, down the back of the block, and falls down onto the exhaust, which makes smoke and a bad smell, and could be a fire issue if gone unchecked. How am I gonna fix that? Well, come with me over to the workbench. I found a really good company. This is my first part from them, first experience, and many of you guys probably know Motion Raceworks. They happen to make a catch can and a kit that comes with all the fittings, the hose. You just have to cut the hose to size and install. But what we're gonna do is figure out where this needs to live. The kit came with all the necessary fittings to hook up this AN-10. It even came with the fittings that need to go inside the valve cover. But because my valve covers are a little smaller than some of the modern stuff, we were able to get on the Earl's website. We got the right one for -10, so we're good to go there. This catch can, like the material, the finish on this thing, and all the work, like everything was packaged really nice. This is a really nice kit. More of the fittings. We even have like the little valve and the bracket to mount the thing. All nicely separated, all packaged well. Good job, Motion Raceworks. This is really nice. So, order of operations here. First, we gotta figure out where this is gonna live, which is probably gonna be over here somewhere. Then we need to run a hose there, and then another hose over there. And then once we have that, we mount it all on there. Then we take this thing for a ride and see how much my tune's messed up from it. That should be interesting. We'll fix all that and then we'll have the catch can going forward. And hopefully, that'll solve this leaky oil problem. Or escaping oil problem. Yeah, it's an escaping oil problem because of positive. Think positive pressure. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna get to work. Let's take this over to the truck and figure out where we want it to live. I think this is gonna be good. I need some masking tape. We'll figure out where to mount that. Masking tape. All right, 3 of the 4 bolts are in. We'll probably be taking this off a few times, but I just want to slide it in here. Oh, I like that. We're not gonna fix it because we're not done with this part yet, or those, or that, so I don't want to go too far. But we have... we'll slide it in there. Let's see what it looks like, you know. I think this is gonna work. I think this is gonna work real good. Alright, now for the rest of the evening, we're gonna stop because it's dark and everybody's asleep. So we're gonna resist the urge to use more power tools and things more later. It's a new day. We got our mounting bracket up there the other night. I need to pull that guy out. I already pulled the PCV out of the other valve cover, and I just want to show you this. See this little itty bitty hole? This is where all the positive pressure was supposed to come out of that 540. It was a mistake. We're gonna go to 2 of these guys. Should be a lot more positive. That's way more breathable than that tiny little guy. This should solve our problem. So what are we gonna do next? Well, we're gonna assemble the rest of the catch can. We're gonna put the valve in the bottom. That's not gonna be too bad. It just literally screws in. I'll grab a wrench to snug it up. We're gonna take the 2 O-ring fittings and put that on the inlet side. And we'll tighten this down in a very, basically I don't need these super tug or snooper set. Come on. They thread right in. These are actually really nice fittings. These came in this kit. These are what are called AN fittings, or Army Navy. These are -10, so these are big. They come in all different sizes. There's like a -3, 12, there's even some -20, like you get real big. And they seal on that flange, and you don't need any Teflon, you don't need any like pipe dope or anything like that. They're actually really useful. We'll use a wrench and we'll snug that up, snug that all the way up. And then this one, once it's actually mounted back on the firewall, we'll put our cap on, and then that'll be ready to use. Then it's just a matter of cutting our 2 hoses to length, putting these guys, we can do this right now, in the intake. I gotta clean the driver's side one because there's that oil on there, and we'll go CSI on it after it's clean to make sure. But that should just push down in there, just like that. And now we'll do the other one after I clean that. All right, that's ready for service. So now we just need 1 hose to go over to the driver's side valve cover and 1 hose to go here. So let's make some hoses. This is gonna be really unscientific measuring here. I'm gonna put this guy here. Go ahead and thread it on. Come on. I'm gonna put that there. And then I just need to figure out how to angle it. Somewhere in that neighborhood. Take this big piece of hose, put it on here. Now, this ain't gonna be long at all. And roughly, I'm gonna use a Sharpie here. About maybe here. What I'm gonna do is put some masking tape on this. And the reason I'm putting masking tape on it, I'm just gonna do a couple wraps. I've centered up where I need to cut it, so it's pretty much the center of the masking tape. I don't want this braid to come undone when I cut it. So I'm gonna help use the masking tape to do that. Center of this. Now to cut this, you have to use some shear cut. Like, there's multiple ways to cut this stuff. This seems to be the best that I've found, and it's actually not super time consuming. Put this in here, line it up, and push that, and things go flying. Not bad, right? Now, the whole reason I use that tape and didn't just cut it without the tape is when I take this one apart, it comes in 2 pieces. I need all those frayed ends to go down. I got to put this on here. And if I don't want to make a mess, that tape helps keep it from unfraying. Now this is where I prick myself with the stuff. Push it all the way to the threads on the inside. And now the second piece, we'll need to put this in the vise. Let me bring you and set you up over here. That's what you get for riding on the workbench here. All kinds of noises. Put got this guy in the vise. I'm using a set of Earl soft jaws, specifically set up to hold AN fittings. I'm throwing stuff on the floor too. Set it in here. This is pretty easy. Make sure it's got a little bit of overhang. Line up the other jaw. Tighten it up. I don't have to kill it to smash it. I need some lubrication. I'm just gonna use some cam lifter installation stuff. You can use WD-40. They literally make AN lubricant for assembly lube. I just don't have any of it right now, and I don't really want to go out and get any, so I'm gonna use what I got already in the shop. I'm gonna hand start this. That's key. Hand start. Push it down. Now it's gonna go into that rubber on the inside. Just like that. And then I'm gonna work it down. These Baco wrenches are phenomenal. They also make aluminum wrenches to help you keep from scratching the stuff up. I ain't got those. So I'm gonna use what I got because I wanna get this done. And I like to take it all the way down and try to line up the edges to where they look nice and uniform. Maybe a little bit. Right like that. Get maybe a little bit more out of this. And what this is doing is it's sealing between the rubber of the hose and the AN fitting. It's compressing it down, so it really, really, really good seals. And it's cool stuff. Back that off. And just like that, we have an AN hose. And let's go see what it looks like on a truck. I have got to clean this garage. There's too much stuff from that suspension upgrade. It's everywhere. All right, if we've done it right, this will fit. They're pretty tight tolerance, so they sit really tight on each other. It's not sure it wants to live here, so I'm gonna take my time, tighten these up, and then we'll figure out what the length needs to be for the other one. Pretty cool, huh? But I gotta clean that other side. So I'm gonna get that started. I'll show you what it looks like, but yeah, get to work. I did not plan this, but the other thing about this is you can take these apart just as easily as you assemble them. So if you ever have to harvest fittings for another project or something like that, just know like these are reusable. I just need to spin it out. And just like this, the assembly lube helps with this too. Just pull that right out. That one's too short. Throw it in the garbage. And then I can make another hose. AN fittings, they're really good. Anywho, now I'm gonna make it the correct length and go put it on and show you what it looks like. We do it nice because we do it twice. That fits so much better. Now the next one, I need to bring over in betwixt and then around to here. But I need to clean this valve cover to get the oil off of it to make sure it works when we go to check it. So cleaning time for me. Check in with you in a bit. The thing about positive pressure, and the reason I'm doing all this and taking my time to do it, is if I don't do this correctly, that positive pressure will find a way out. It'll blow out like the oil pan seal or rear main seal, you know, all the seals that are hard to get to. So I'd rather it come out this way in a controlled manner than unexpectedly in a pull the motor or pull an oil pan kind of way, because we've already done that once. I don't particularly want to play that game again. I'm gonna grab some oil from the inside of here. Lube that up. Push that in. And now we're ready for our second hose. Yeah, I think this is gonna work. It's gonna look like extra monster-y truck in here, but what can you do? Dash 10, big stuff. Compared to this 3/8 hose that's going in the back of the carb that I need to pull out and cap off, this should be real good. Trying to remove the old PCV hose, got a little more than I bargained for. I pulled the fitting out of the resin plate that was underneath of the carburetor that had this hook to it that was going directly into the intake. So I got to pull that carburetor off, correct this before we can test this. But let me show you where we got it.
Hose number 1, not tightened. Hose number 2, kind of tightened, but mocked up. I'm really excited about this. I think this is gonna breathe really well.
We'll play more tomorrow when I take the carburetor off and fix this, and then I'll take it for a test drive. That'll be a good night. Anyway, see you guys then. Good morning. We're gonna do something a little bit different today before work. We're gonna go ahead and get that carburetor off, fix our little boo-boo, put that brass plug back in where it goes.
It's like 6 in the morning. And it's beautiful this morning.
Alright, let's get some coffee, get that carb off, and put that brass plug back in that plate that's under that carburetor. Shouldn't be too bad of a chore. Let's get started. Getting stuff ready. My brother calls these tool trays. He ain't wrong. I need to finish fitting this and actually get these in here. They'd be real good to passively push air through the radiator. But they make a great tool tray. Alright, let's get this carb off. Oh, the battery died. It's too early for that kind of technical thing, but yeah. Carburetor's off. It's upside in the bucket, draining. Let's go see our failure. That's where the plug was. Let's figure out how to put it back in there. So I think we're just gonna put some RTV on it, put it back in, and let it sit, because it just needs to stay in there. Sorry, I'm trying to block the sun with my shoulder so it doesn't flare out the camera. But we'll put that back in, be back in business. Put a little bit of ultra gray on this. Just a tiny amount, nothing too crazy. I'm gonna have to take some of this off, but that's a bit excessive. Not sponsored by Permatex, but man, do I use a lot of their stuff. They are good people, or it's just good stuff. Alright, wipe that off. It's a bit too much too. Let me take a little bit more off. This only needs like a tiny amount, like skim coated. It was a pretty tight tolerance fit, so not trying to put it everywhere. Just like, yeah, it maybe just for luck. Need something to support. Huh? Huh? Maybe. Ah. Ta-da! Block a hole. It's an officially patented tool. Block a hole. Block with a hole. There you go. And now, it should be serviceable. We'll let that dry. Grabbed a new gasket. We put all this back together.
And we got that plate back on. I'm gonna put the hose on this one this time. This is for a map sensor
To something pretty cool coming soon. If you don't know what this is, it's worth a Google.
I'll let it build your curiosity.
because I'm really looking forward to seeing how that works. Don't take long for that sun to come up and get warm. It's still before 7. Got that back on. I think next, we'll put the fuel line back on and we'll play with this a little bit more later tonight. We'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, I can't help it. I got a few minutes before I gotta get ready. Let's fire it up. Because I mean, what's the point in doing all that work and doing all the work at work if you can't buy these speed parts and use them? Dump some gasoline. A little there, a little there, a little down the front. The float bows aren't full because we had that thing and we dumped it out, so that should be enough to kick it off and let the fuel pump do its thing. No need to pump twice this morning. Let's say good morning to the neighborhood. I'm kind of excited about this. Here we go. Yeah. Let's just let it flood. All right, let's go look for leaks and then we gotta go get ready for work. Good morning, neighbors. It is a beautiful morning. Ah, that's fun. Choke fell off. All right, we gotta put the choke back on. Other than that, we didn't undo any of that stuff. Fuel pressures did what it was supposed to do. I didn't see oil come out of either of these. They're really dry. We'll do more tonight. Gotta stop, go get ready for work. See you in the light. It's a new day. Took this out last night to go put some gas in it. Found out my tune is completely off. That happens when you take away the 3/8 supply line that was acting like a giant air compressor with a 3/8 hose going into the intake from the positive crankcase ventilation. That motor's 8.8 liters. That's just the combustion area. We're not even talking about the area below the pistons in the crankcase or in the valley. So yeah, that crankcase, positive crankcase ventilation, it's real. So we're gonna go through, retune the carb up, set it up for more of the hot weather. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do today because I'd like to take this thing for a spin and not feel like it's gonna be because it's so rich. So that's what I'm gonna work on. I know it's real loud, but we've adjusted the idle mixture screws. We've checked it against the vacuum. We're idling about 800 RPM, 750, somewhere between a 13 and a 13.5. Put it in gear. Oh, that's not bad. Not bad at all. How are we doing on our vacuum? Yeah, about where it usually is. Oil pressure's good. Coolant's good. I think we're ready to go around the block. Let's go try that. I'm sure this is my neighbor's favorite part. It's time to go for a ride. Get out of the neighborhood for a while. It's 96 degrees with a relative heat index of 100. All of it, I don't even know. I just know it's 96 degrees right now. And our AC is on both sides. And down there, and down there. Because it's so hot. Let's go drive this thing for a while. I'm pretty excited, it's running a lot better. So, to the lake. We're back. That test drive was really a lot of fun. It's really hot outside. Like, We got the exhaust fan in the garage going. You probably hear it running. The truck ran really good. I want to see what jets, power valves and things, because I don't remember them all, and squirters are in that carburetor. There's some adjustments I want to make because it wants to make power. And I feel like it needs more fuel in a couple places, and I want to do some adjustments. But anyway, I'm really happy. I'm gonna go inside, drink something cold. We will see you guys in a little while. It's a new day, and I got the part that's been holding me up. See this? It's called an oil filler cap. It goes right here. I'm gonna show you something. If you pull this cap out, pull out the grommet, see these tabs right here? This is old school. This doesn't need a grommet. It doesn't need this billet cap. It needs actually a cap with the tabs. Go figure. Now this really should help the oil leaking down the thing problem. But also, with our catch can, I can tell you it revs faster. That motor's doing, it takes less, mechanical effort to spin it around. And let's make sure this cap fits. And I did think it was funny, the local parts store, they didn't have any of these. They just have that new stuff. And voila. Oh. I think the only thing left to do now is go put a bunch of miles on it, rev it up, make a bunch of noise, and see if oil leaks. Let's see how good of a job I did cleaning this up. All right, there's not a lot of oil on there. There's a little bit back there, because when we went and took it out to put gas in it and drove it the other day, and I discovered that it had the wrong cap on it, I saw the oil following down the thing, but so much less, definitely a lot less than what there was. And I'm pretty excited about that. All right, Supra, need to move you, and you need to go with me. Let's go for a drive. I am happy to report I do not smell oil dripping on the exhaust manifold. I'm gonna take that as a good sign. Driving around, let me tell you what I think's going on. We have solved the PCV. That is done. That catch can nailed it. There's less crankcase pressure, so the motor spins up faster. But what it's doing now is absolutely running out of fuel. And it's doing that because it's so hot outside, all the fuel's boiling in the fuel pump. That fuel pump's at the front right corner of the block. And she's quite warm. Those headers are doing everything they can to evacuate the exhaust gases, but those gases are hot. And I think the only way we can get rid of this problem is we rethink our fuel system. We'll do that next episode. But this catch can, oh yeah, it's staying on the truck. Motion Raceworks did a great job. There's no oil in it, which is good, because that means it's not leaking. I think I just saw my buddy Wayne. The catch can is doing its job. It's letting the crankcase vent without venting it to the atmosphere. It's not fogging my entire engine bay with oil. And the oil leak at the oil cap, it's gone. Between the oil cap and that catch can, no more oil problems to speak of. I'm so thrilled about that. So that's a big win. So right now, I just parked it. We should have like 6 PSI up there, and there's only 3 because we've been pumping vapor. We're gonna fix that. We're back in the lab with the heat gun. That fuel pump
is at 136 degrees. The block, you know, it's at 176. I think we're boiling our fuel. What's our thing here at 160, 136? I think our fuel's just getting too hot. It's in the wrong place, because with the fuel pump being right here in all that heat, because that's, you know, 136, 140, 160 is the block. The carb's at 120. Fuel boils in the like 120-ish range. I think our placement of our fuel pump in connection to the 540 cubic inch water heater right here might be the cause of our fuel problems. Because that 150, yeah, it's not a good sign. I think we've got too much heat concentrated in our fuel system. And since it's 90 something degrees outside today, this is a good time to test all this stuff and figure all these things out. Because if I ever want to go take this thing racing, it's going to get hotter than this. Because you're going to run the motor all the way out to redline. Yeah, it's going to get hotter. So this is stuff we need to solve. But I am happy to report, on the other front, we have solved one problem. The positive crankcase pressure, no longer an issue. That is an amazing piece. I gladly buy more stuff from Motion Raceworks because it worked. It had all the pieces that I needed. And with just a few fittings, we're in business. The fuel system, we'll do some research and get back to you on that one. Thank you guys for watching. I'm enjoying doing this. We're learning a lot. We're gonna continue to develop this thing, and it's just gonna get better and better. It was a great drive. Just starting to run out of fuel when you start to have fun. That's no fun. We'll fix that. See you guys in the next one. I'm Gorm. I'm out.